What can I do for you, Del Nero?
Tell me about the Congregation of Five.
What do you want to know?
Why are you looking for the girl?
I don't know, Del Nero. If you want answers, you have to wait for a guy the congregation sent to deal with girl.
When will he get here?
Tomorrow morning, around 9 a.m.
And until then, I'll have to babysit the girl, right?
Right, Del Nero. There's no other choice.
How did you get in?
I was never part of organization. My old man was member. We moved to America for his job. He deciphered codes for them.
So what's your role?
When my old man was too old to work, he decided to buy this building. Congregation helped him. The only provision is that if they need it, it has to be safe house for their members.
And this safe house is apartment 607.
Exactly, Del Nero. That's why that room is always closed.
What's the relationship between the congregation and Sean McClane?
McClane must be your friend they found dead tonight, right?
Yes, even if friend isn't the right word.
Anyway, I only know members who stayed in my building. I never heard of your friend.
I don't have any other questions. Goodbye, Slavonsky.
Goodbye, Del Nero.
Where you want to go this time?
The Melville Port in Brooklyn.
Whatever you want.
Hi.
Police again? What do you want now? I've already answered your questions.
I'm not a police officer.
No? Then who are you? You're not one of those dumb journalists who are always looking for conspiracies and scandals everywhere, are you?
I'm a private detective.
Well, I don't care who you are. You'll find a way to bug me anyway, right?
I guess so. Anyway, I just have a few questions to ask you. What are you doing here?
It's the same question that I'm asking myself. I was woken up in the middle of the night by a call from the police who ordered me to close the port due to an investigation.
So you were the port manager?
You could say that. Actually, I'm the only one here. I'm the port manager, the secretary, and even the cleaning crew.
What do you know about what happened here tonight?
I know that one guy bumped off another guy, and he picked this port to do it. That's what I know, as I told the police over and over again.
You don't seem too surprised by what went on.
It's not the first time, and it won't be the last that someone gets bumped off around here.
Has it happened before?
You could set your watch by it, just like my rheumatism. This port has its share of some of the worst scumbags in New York, and sometimes we even manage to get a few troublemakers from out of town. Once they even found a Chicago police lieutenant drowned under one of the piers.
A well-attended place, I'd say.
It wasn't always like this. In the good times, the port was the apple of the eye of Brooklyn's commercial activity.
Why did they make you close the port?
The police decided to close the entire port until they complete their investigation, and I have no way of knowing how long it will take. So I have to call the captain of every ship headed here and tell him that he has to unload at Kips Bay instead of here.
If the port is closed, like you say, I doubt you'll have a lot of work to do.
I don't care about the boats. But tomorrow, the good Lewis was supposed to disembark with my good Chilean friend that brings me some of the best grog I've ever had. Now I'll have to wait more than a month to see him, and I finished my last bottle last week.
If I want some information, the grog seems a good way to bribe him. Tell me about the port.
It was the beginning of the century. New York felt like it was the capital of the whole world. I was just a young sailor with a few dollars in my pocket and no reason to stay on the mainland. The port owner was old Svensson, a Swede who seemed anything but a sailor. In fact, he couldn't have told you the difference between a swordfish and a canister of gasoline. But he knew business. Oh yes, he knew it all right. That guy transformed this place into one of the most important hubs on the East River in just 3 years.
This port doesn't seem like a place where a lot of ships could dock.
You shouldn't look at it now. Half of the port is now demolished and sold. Once there were more than 10 piers. Now there are only a couple. Old Svensson had them build huge ones, so that even the biggest fishing ships could dock.
Why was part of the port sold?
It's a long story. During the port's most active years, I worked at the harbormaster's office. An accident involving my right leg stopped me from sailing for a few months. Since I was one of the few who could read or write, I was put in charge of handling port procedures. Everything seemed to go fine, business was good, but Svensson started to change over time. I'm not saying that he looked like one of us, but he started to lose that look of a king that he had when he got here. And he started getting strange visits. Then one day in April 1926, John Grenz, known as the Ace of Spades, found his body floating near the mooring right near his office. The police said that it was a suicide, but none of us believed it. Old Spence had been neglecting himself, okay, but he still had the will to live. The funeral had barely happened when a certain crony, some fat half-Italian, half-Turkish guy, took over for old Svensson. Within a year, he sold part of the port and fired half of us. I was the only one to keep my job, and I became the harbor master.
Fascinating story, but something doesn't make sense. The recession has shut down businesses that were a lot stronger than this little port. How have you managed to survive this long?
You're quick on your feet, son. The answer is simple. Cruises to freedom.
Cruises to freedom?
Right. If someone wants a change of scene without anyone knowing, this is his ticket to freedom.
You mean that criminals can illegally escape from this port?
You can do the math. I learned not to ask questions.
Did you see a man with a girl tonight?
It looks like you know more than you pretend to, son.
So have you seen a little girl?
Sorry, but I can't give you any information about who leaves from the port. It's the rules.
Did you let a man named Ford board?
No way, son. The rules are rules. I can't say anything about the people who leave from here.
I don't need anything else.
Good luck, son.
Empty bottles of grog. It must be what's left of the harbor master's stash. A bottle is broken. I'll take the part with the label. Grog de Ricardo Blanco. This stuff is over 120 proof. Every sip cuts your liver's life by a week.
Let me guess. We have to go somewhere.
Essex Street, Lower East Side.
Whatever you want.
Yes, using the steam that's coming out, I should be able to get the label off of the piece of bottle I picked up. Let's see. Excellent. Now I have a Grog de Ricardo Blanco label ready for use. No clue. At least none that makes any sense. Hi, Greta.
Hi, Jack.
Do you have a bottle of grog?
Grog? Did you decide to drive the last nail in your liver's coffin?
It's not for me, and it would take too long to explain why I need it.
As usual. Anyway, I don't think I have any grog. No one drinks that stuff. But if you feel like, you can check. There might be a few old bottles on the first shelves, the ones closest to the mill.
I'll take a look. Thanks. Okay, I'm going now.
Bye, Jack.
A huge wall of booze. If there is a heaven, this is what I think it looks like. Soft clouds, angels flying around, and a bar with every kind of booze ever made. Let's see if Greta has a bottle of grog on these shelves. I don't see anything that looks like grog. If I glue this label on any of these bottles, I could have a bottle of what, at first glance, could look like a bottle of grog. I doubt that the harbormaster guy will figure out the swindle, or at least he won't until I get the information I need. It looks perfect. It looks the same as the bottles of grog I found at the port.
Ah, you again. Where we go this time?
The Melville Port in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Maybe this will help loosen up your tongue.
Where'd you get that bottle?
With a little brain, you can get anything in this city. Tell me what you saw tonight, and it's yours.
I can't.
Let's stop beating around the bush. I have something that you want, and you have something that I want. Let's not get any pointless morals mixed up in the matter.
Okay, and you convinced me.
Tell me who boarded tonight.
Around closing time, the guy who was found bumped off on the dock came here. He had a little girl with him. He asked if he could board the Saint Marie de la Mer.
The Sainte Marie de la Mer. It's the same name that was in my dream. First that hitman, and now the name of the ship. How's all this possible? Did you see anyone else other than the guy with the girl?
And now that I think about it, yes. I had just closed the harbormaster's office when I saw a man near the lamppost. I had never seen him around here before. He wasn't a sailor. He was too elegant to be an old salt.
Describe him.
I only saw him in passing. It's better to avoid looking at anyone for too long around here.
Did you notice anything particular?
He was dressed well, but that's it.
Where did you say he was?
Under that lamppost over there, the one next to the sacks.
Okay. I don't need anything else.
Good luck, son.
Maybe I'll find something interesting. There are some cigarette butts here. It looks like the guy tailing Sean had to wait for a long while. Let's take a look. The smell of this butt isn't of regular old tobacco. It's hash, which isn't exactly easy to find. It might be a lead to follow, but I can't think of any connection between this cigarette butt and what happened tonight. Maybe I need to think about it. Let's try to think about it. John said that the guy he saw near his cab was smoking a cigarette that smelled funny. And now I find this hashish smoke. There's no doubt that the guy that was following Sean and the one that Sean saw by his cab is the same guy. The cigarette butt won't be much help figuring out the identity of this mystery man, but I might find other clues. If I piece it back together, maybe I can figure out something more. Okay, now the pieces are coming together. Unfortunately, I don't have all of them here. I can't read exactly what's written on the box. It certainly refers to some kind of business. Maybe the telephone book that I have in my office will be of some help.
Where you want to go this time?
Essex Street, Lower East Side.
Okay.
Yes, this matchbox definitely comes from a store or joint in New York. Comparing it with the names of businesses in the phone book, I should be able to figure out the full name, and get the address too. I can see the word book on the matchbox. It must be a bookstore. Let's start looking from there. Little Peninsula. The name matches. It's a bookstore on the Upper East Side, on 65th. I think I better check it out. I don't need the matchbox anymore. I can leave it here.
Ah, you again. Where we go this time?
"65th Street, Upper East Side."
Whatever you want.
And here I am on the Upper East Side. Luxury stores, offices of diplomats, and gentlemen with deep pockets. A right place to work on my intolerance of hypocrisy.